Get these trailer jets on high.
Sure. Okay.
So Dan, I've got some good news for you. I'm seeing a number of fans up here that have my mind going that are thinking, I will trade you the door.
Right now.
Okay.
I should also show you.
Can I
Remember what
plug
we
it
had
in
in our
here,
basement?
in here for a moment?
You can, but it's going to be wired in series.
Yep, that's fine.
Pretty good surprise.
Yep, sure. Yes.
I sent it to you a long time ago.
On what?
And then I asked you to go back for it, and you never said
yes.
you
I
did.
never did. And I never expected to see it again until it showed up at that shop finder.
Same exact one?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you went back that day. Just tell me.
Oh, nice. Oh, are those all the carbon filaments?
These are the carbon filaments.
Yeah,
so
all
all of these
fucking
indicator
work.
lamps we found, I took one out and I realized, so you saw these, right?
So we were in an
Okay.
abandoned hospital
I'll unscrew
yesterday.
I'll unscrew this and show you. So we were in an abandoned hospital yesterday. If you want to go out and see Dan, I'll explain this to him.
I don't
So-
know what this is.
So we were in an abandoned hospital, and in the control room for the power plant, we found this on the wall.
Which is it's a bank of indicator lights, and it's
Oh,
very
wow.
cool. It's
And
the
I
size
said,
of
I
this
know
one.
what's behind those, and I took them off, and they all had these. Now picture
Okay.
this is mounted back in an outlet box. How are you going to get your fingers in there to get that bulb unscrewed?
Mm.
It tilts out like that.
It's a little stiff, but
Little stiff.
don't break it.
Tilts out like that, and then you unscrew it from the ring. And after I unscrewed the bulb, I looked at this and I went, wait a minute. This is 1926 original because it's a Hubble socket, and lamp number 433, 125 volts, 2 candle power. Now tungsten lamps were never rated in candle power. Carbon lamps were. And so we looked at these, holy smokes, these are all carbon filaments.
Look at that.
They all work. 1926 light bulbs.
These light bulbs are almost 100 years old, and they still
Yeah.
work, which is absolutely insane.
Hey Dan,
Yes?
You might want to see this.
this
What?
is special. So when I was in the car and we were looking at those indicator light things I got,
Yeah.
I unscrewed the bulb and realized
1920s carbon filament bulbs that work.
My hotspot is
just
working.
carbon filaments. Then we looked at the bulbs that were in the 4 indicator lamps, and they were carbon filament Nalco Hubble bulbs. So I've now screwed them in, and all of them work.
This calls for a close-up.
100-year-old light bulbs still work. That's what we're.
Oohing and awing over.
Yes. Which is absolutely insane to see. 'Cause it's just
That
not
is
something-
incredible.
That really is. Like, that's not something.
Rick, you don't have a phone charger with you, do you?
No.
That is 110% Jonas. Right there. That
So
is.
what brand
that
is
is
the bulbs?
luck.
Are Hubble?
The bulbs are Nalco,
Oh, Nalco.
but also marked Hubble.
Okay.
Because probably they are made to go in these. And I said, I want that. So I took this off the wall, and what were under it were these little Hubble branded lights. And because these are pretty constricted area, the only way to get the bulbs is to swing the ring out like that, and then you can unscrew the bulb. And then I looked in this and I went, wait a minute, this is made by Hubble, so maybe it's original to place. And it says 2 candle power lamp. Tungsten bulbs were never rated in candle power. That was carbon filaments. And then I looked at the bulb. These are now carbon filaments. These are 1926 light bulbs installed in this thing when the place was open and still in use, but probably not lighting up very often.
Right, these were all warning lights and they weren't on, they weren't supposed to be on.
Yeah.
But they have to go on.
Yeah. So,
These are in the series.
Yeah,
These are the House on the Rock series parallel arrangements, or past series, as Pete calls it. Those filaments are super cool.
Those are actual.
1926 Nalco Hubble light bulbs.
I want to get an idea about right when it is.
Eventually, yeah.
And I've also asked about one, but I don't know if that's what I'll be getting.
I told Jonas if he had a place to hang it, that he could keep one until I have a place for it, but
Well, keep me. I know you probably want to keep them right now, I imagine, but definitely keep me on the list if you want those. But more likely, if I find something you really want to try picking them up.
that would be, yeah. Where's my,
I'm really shocked that refiner is even recognizable.
well, he hasn't really been here since the last time you were here, I don't think. So that might be a factor.
It's on that totally empty, so we got everything.
Yeah, you find, see that round nose?
Good.
That'll be something that I think you really should test while we're here. I like round nose also.
I also really like that white plastic.
Did you unpack the other plastic Emerson? I assume that's what's in there. Nobody.
What other? There's another one.
I mean,
Did you ever get that one from Fort Atkinson?
Fort Atkinson?
Yeah, there was a white Sears one that I kind of liked.
In Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin?
Somewhere like that. You said it was a little out of your way for a while.
Oh no, I never got that one. That wasn't in Fort Atkinson. That was all the way up in I don't know, but it was far. Manitowoc maybe? No, Fort Atkinson's not that far.
Well, hey, I see those in here.
Quick Trip does not have them. Double check, make sure there's nothing in the bag. Aha! We're going with the deep recesses of the bag. Now what I need is the power strip. This is the power strip. Let me look. He probably knows where they are. I do not. This metal is unpredictable. What else would it be?
Looks like an Emerson.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't know what else.
Oh, no, it's bad. Yep. Just a brown plastic Emerson looks like.
That's what I believe.
Dan,
Yeah,
why do you even have these? They must be destroyed immediately.
they're probably peaks.
What?
The
Well, the problem
hexagonal shades there, Dan hates those. I like them on one specific fan, antique brass, Zephyr, walnut with stencil, because my grandmother went to a doctor's office that had a really cool lobby with a fireplace, big brick fireplace, and two of those.
Oh yeah.
And I just think that's a pretty look. Have the Matthews type fans been tested?
Yes.
Oh man. What about the other antique over there with the ornate bottom?
We're gonna do that tomorrow. That's
Okay.
that's part and parcel with this one.
That one with this one?
The CF28.
Yeah.
Whose color's drink is that? Try not to kick it over. I already stepped on the end of those blades. Fortunately, they're plastic.
I'm not seeing anything out here that's super Jonas that hasn't been tested.
I'd say that's probably accurate. How do you feel about originals?
I'm okay-ish with them. If you want to test them, that's fine. They're not super Jonas, but I'll watch.
Okay.
like
Well, what's more Jonas? Okay.
Yep.
A small Emerson like Rick is putting together right now.
Yep.
A chunky import G event, which there's one over there with a
Yep.
light that needs to come off, or a brown original.
Definitely what he's working on.
Okay, well let's do that one first.
Did Jonas just say plastic Emerson?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, good, because I was putting it up.
I like
anyway.
this. Those are close enough to the Sleepy Emersons that I really like.
Friction drive.
Somebody found a new in box friction drive recently.
Rick doesn't know my history with those. Family in Texas built a big duplex, aunt and uncle in one side, grandparents in the other. And grandparents had some kind of, I don't even really remember it, some kind of generic antique brass and oak G, 4-blade G event. And the only other fans in the house were back in my aunt and uncle's section in the so-called game room, and they were a pair of those brown, I don't know what size they were, friction drives.
There's 36 or 52.
Yeah, and they had schoolhouse lights. And the thing I didn't understand for most of my life until I met Dan and talked to him and got some information from fan collectors was, because I always knew how a pull chain is set up, I always heard that my grandfather was always annoyed because somebody would pull the chain too hard, it would come out of the housing and you have to thread it back through. Well, in those, the thing goes through as a string and it goes through and back out.
Nice.
And I never saw them running.
Okay. You're hanging this in here, Rick, or in the small area?
I'm just putting it together right now. It doesn't matter.
Now, Jonas, we always test fans that have long down rods or industrials out here.
Yep.
We sometimes test all fans out here. Other times we will test smaller fans and non-industrials in there. And
Where is the spot in there? Because it seems like there's fans everywhere.
on the beam, there's a J-hook. Now, my preference would be just to test everything out here, but that means that whoever installs the fans has to go up and down the ladder, and I'm not usually that person. So my vote,
I vote for testing short downrod fans in there on the low ceiling.
is that because you're worried about being the person on the ladder, or is that?
No, it's because I don't want. Rick, do you mind going up and down the ladder and putting fans up there?
Not really.
Not really?
Doesn't make much difference.
Okay.
I
if
don't
you-
like hanging super heavy fans up there because I'm not the strongest person, but like this kind of stuff.
We will probably do the antiques in there tomorrow. As much as I'd rather see them out here, we will probably do them
Yeah.
in there out of safety
Rick,
reasons.
if you're okay with doing it on this ceiling, then yeah, let's just do it here.
Oh, so we need a crane hook to get those things up there.
Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy, and then they're heavy and fragile, which is a really great combination.
Yeah.
Yours
I mean,
here.
originals are heavy enough for me, so
When Rick gets back, I'll tell him
those are like an original and 2/3.
One other thing, Rick and Andy, the house I was telling you about with the duplex setup,
Yeah.
it was a new-tone home, so it had clock door chime.
Newton doorbell.
But the cool thing was, you know those drinking fountains that mount on the wall and have a compressor under them so they're cold?
Yeah.
There was one of those on the wall in the game room, and there was one just outside the game room side door on the porch. And my uncle, who was at the time, who's no longer my uncle, who was pretty testy, always hated the kids who'd ride their bikes off the street and go over there and use the drinking fountain outside. Oh, that's something I wonder. Drinking fountain collectors, do they exist?
I'm sure they do. Once I learned that there were toilet collectors, I figured we kind of covered every single
Wait,
base.
there are toilet collectors?
There are toilet collectors.
Yeah, I think I've heard.
Jonas, how much interest do you have in testing a Newton friction drive?
Would love to do that.
Okay, let's put that tonight.
Okay.
How much interest do you have in a 6-blade design house?
Not too much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably Bauhaus.
Metal Pete, how much interest do you have in a Milwaukee Public Zoo plastic Emerson?
Oh, I definitely like those.
Oh, it's
Okay.
from the Milwaukee Zoo.
No, this is the same kind as the Milwaukee Zoo.
Oh, it's the not the Sears type.
It's the square,
Okay.
white square. It's
Let me
right,
make-
it's right there.
Let me make a
Oh,
list.
yes.
Oh, those guys.
What size is that one?
36.
Oh, it is 36. so it's just like what I have in there.
Yeah, except white. Except
Yeah, I've been after a white one. I have a 42
Oh,
inch.
you guys should unpack the stuff in the bubble wrap. Some of that's really cool.
Alright, let's
All right, let's
got here.
Pete have at it.
kind of weird that there's cobwebs.
I can go in here where I've got less
That's a lot of these in.
everywhere I'm standing.
That's kind of the nature of this place.
What this looks to be is a Casa. I think this is a gear-driven Casablanca.
Oh,
A gear-driven Casablanca.
Okay, that does not have all the parts, so we can't test that until we complete it.
Okay.
And there should be 2 of those. Your metalist, why don't you get the test rig together? Since Rick will probably be ready to test this pretty soon.
Oh, it's practically.
Okay. Did we check it to see if it needed bearings?
Bearings seem fine to me.
All right. Well,
Famous last words.
Well, I spun it quite a bit. I didn't hear anything. K55s don't have that problem as much as K63s.
That's true.
Oh, well, I'm gonna be the one taking it down.
Also true.
it's ready to.
This is almost ready.
Yeah, the test rig's already set
Okay,
up.
why don't you start putting together that round nose?
Okay, where is it?
That's a good question.
right there in the bubble wrap,
Where? What? Where?
right in front of the
Oh,
thing here.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a motor.
Yeah, I don't know
This
where
one
the
here?
I don't know where the rest of the
It's
stuff
complete.
is.
It all came in together.
Admittedly, I don't use most of the usual catchphrases. I like the more unusual stuff. Like that.
Wow, what a beautiful runner.
That really, yeah, that doesn't really seem to be having any issues whatsoever. Light
Right.
looks really great.
Who's medium? Oh, well.
So remember the plan for this video. We will not hear a peep out of other Jonas
Yep.
until the sponsorship section. And when we get to the sponsorship section, Metal Jonas will ask, "Pardon me, do you have any Homestead catalogs?" And then other Jonas will walk into frame and say, "Actually, I do."
Is
And
it
then-
okay? Is it okay if I just do that in my normal voice?
Yes, I was just.
I don't have to do because earlier people were saying that actually I do
job on the ball.
or something silly, but I can do
Anything
just
else?
normal voice.
All match.
Oh,
And yeah, I'm glad we found this. They found this in your car because I'm glad.